Nokia announced its first Android flagship smartphone just 2 weeks ago. This is the Nokia 8. But we're here at Berlin at IFA, where the competition for your next smartphone buy is fierce. We have new smartphones from Sony, from LG, and don't forget there's that iPhone coming in a couple of weeks. So what better place to test out the cameras, see how they fare than Berlin? There's so much to see, so much to do. Let's go. So let's blast through the specifications of the Nokia 8. We're dealing with 3 camera sensors this time around, 2 on the back, 1 on the front. Now the interesting part is they're all 13 megapixel sensors with an f2.0 lens. These are all decent specs, and it's notable to see the selfie camera on the front of the phone match what's happening on the back. Those 2 sensors on the rear though are different. We're not dealing with a wide angle and telephoto lens combo. No, this time Nokia's gone for the monochrome sensor paired with a color sensor, similar to what you've seen on perhaps Huawei's recent flagship phones. The aim of having that monochrome sensor is to ensure it's much better behaving in low light, and that color sensor also has optical image stabilization, which again just makes you screw up less photos. Nokia's also really pushing on the software front on how the camera can combine all those lenses together. It's trying to coin the phrase bothy, which I'll try not to ever say again, and that's the idea of combining both your selfie image with whatever's in front of you, reaction pieces. Nokia's also embedded a new button that allows you to live broadcast to, at the moment, YouTube and Facebook, of that bothy, of what you're looking at and your expression yourself. When you're eating a scorpion in Thailand, when you're, just about to jump into a pool. I don't think it's waterproof. For those kind of things, it's about reactions. It's about, recording 2 things at once. Let's see how well it fares. The Nokia 8 is the best Android shooter Nokia has ever made. While its Lumia phones often led the pack when it came to smartphone photography a few years ago, things have inexorably moved on. So, has Nokia kept up? It's certainly tried. Pairing 2 camera sensors together is the done thing with flagship phones, and this time around it's using 2 13 megapixel sensors. One deals in monochrome while the other in color. A monochrome sensor helps the phone to deal with low light, but also offers the opportunity for true black and white photography straight from the source. These monochrome shots were some of my favorites, a feature that I also loved on Huawei's P10, which has a similar camera layout. But how about twin mode? Now, this is the mode which combines both of those rear-facing cameras. They were good, damning with faint praise perhaps, but while some pictures came out wonderfully, I was often disappointed by either the dynamic range, blue skies would wash out anything else in frame, or underperforming focus. 13 megapixels should be more than enough for crisp shots, but the Nokia 8, despite those Zeiss lenses, delivered merely good images, not great. And after being spoiled with Nokia's Lumia phones years ago and the effort that went into imaging over all that time, the lack of manual controls and tweaks was also disappointing. In fact, the camera menus are pretty bare bones. Focus modes include center weighted, evaluative, that's like face detecting, and auto, while there's similarly limited options for macro photography. Well, macro is pretty much the only option. The cameras use the same resolution, so the images don't look particularly uneven, although there's times when the rear-facing camera struggled with changes in light. The biggest problem, hurdle, challenge, however you want to call it, is the physical issue of lining up what you're trying to capture in front with what you've got happening behind. Here we are touring the Berlin Victory column during our shoot, and it's hard to balance the 2. I mean, it's fine for rough and ready broadcasts, but it's just difficult for decent looking photos. I think a wider angle lens on the front-facing camera would have alleviated things massively. Now about that live casting, Nokia has added the ability to broadcast directly from the camera app to either, at the moment, YouTube or Facebook, which is a smart move. However, when trying it out, we seem to lose that hyped up audio recording. My voice blasts out on Facebook live streams, and even video compression wrecks the quality of the video. This isn't completely the fault of the Nokia 8. You've got to think about data, signal reception, and Facebook compression, which are all involved. But the point is, I don't want to share something that sounds so grating and looks so muddy. What's the point? Another issue I have is the delay to switch between the 2 sensors on the back of the Nokia 8. This was a niggle when we had the first wave of dual lens camera phones last year, but most companies have figured out how to speed up this transition. Hopefully Nokia will be able to push through updates to improve some of these issues. There's certainly things to work on. So that was a closer look at the Nokia 8 cameras. Of course, if you want more impressions of the phone, you can check out our hands-on already live on the site. And Engadget will still be broadcasting and giving you all the cool news from IFA in Berlin, so stay tuned.